A Wisconsin Dells man has now pleaded guilty to his role in a plot to kidnap Michigan's governor. 54-year-old Brian Higgins is free on bond and made a Michigan court appearance today by video from his home. Higgins pleaded guilty to a charge of attempting to provide material support for terrorism. The charge carries a maximum prison term of 5 years. He had earlier pleaded not guilty to a more serious charge.